A nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. The only value in our nations possessing nuclear weapons is to make sure they will never be used. But then would it not be better to do away with them entirely? This is a quote from a speech Ronald Reagan gave in 1984 regarding nuclear weapons and also regarding the START 1 Act. The START 1 Act was a treaty enacted in the early 80s at the end of the Cold War, or nearing the end of the Cold War, between Russia and the United States. It was an agreement that required the destruction of nuclear arms or nuclear delivery systems, but not arms or warheads. Now, during this period in between the early 80s and the late 1990s, Russia and America both developed a surplus of nuclear warheads. Today, the numbers have been reduced. At any given time, there are 13,650 active nuclear warheads in the world at any given time. The majority of these are controlled by the United States and Russia, with the next country in line only having 10% or 5% of the nuclear warheads that America and Russia both obtain or control. After the START 1 Act was completed in 2001, Russia and America went into a treaty or a non-treaty period where they both developed nuclear weapons at a blinding pace. America right now controls around 5,550 nuclear bombs. Russia controls around 6,000. These numbers are expected to be reduced in coming years as America and Russia have just entered into what's known as the START 2 Act, or the NPT. And it is going to reduce the number of warheads and delivery systems that each of the countries control. Now, what I'm proposing here, what the policy change that needs to be made, is the policy of non-proliferation. Now, America doesn't have a non-proliferation policy. We have a policy of slowly reducing our nuclear warheads, but not by much. What I'm proposing is the policy change to enter the TPNW, which is the Total Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons Treatise, proposed by the UN. Several countries have entered it already. America was invited into it on July 7th, 2017, when it began in New York in the United Nations. Russia and America have both not answered the invitations to enter the treatise. Now, with America and Russia's haste into the arms race, what that did was it fueled a secondary arms race that's still continuing in the world today between China, Russia, and America. China just successfully tested a delivery system that is called the hypersonic nuclear delivery system. It allows the upper atmospheric delivery of IBMs, which is an intercontinental ballistic missile. These can't be detected by modern radar. They're too fast. They fly at speeds anywhere between 17,000 miles an hour and 24,000 miles per hour. That is 12 to 17 times the speed of sound. These bombs are big enough to completely wipe off. The bombs they deliver are completely and totally capable of wiping a city the size of Houston or New York City or LA completely off the face of the earth in a split second. And we would never even be warned of its delivery or of its launch because it's so fast. Now, joining the TPNW, what that would do it would allow America and Russia a safe and mutual avenue to slowly but surely non-proliferate and disarm through mutual disarmament carried out and overseen by regimes and oversight regimes put together by the UN treatise. America and Russia could join this, and it would change the world. It would make the world a safer place for all of us to live in at all times from there on out. It would make everyday life safer for every person on the planet from then on out.